Hey guys, welcome to Tech News Day, and this episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN and by Kaptara.
Nowadays, getting to where you want to go is as convenient as ever. The roads are littered with options, literally. There's, of course, ride sharing in a car, but more recently, those options have expanded to include bike shares and scooter shares, where you can use an app to pay by the minute, and then when you're done, you just dump it in some random person's driveway. Because fuck them, it's their problem now. For all their faults, it is still good to have fewer cars on the road and in the parking spaces of our cities. Using a scooter to get, a quarter mile away.
Yeah.
Love it.
Free it up.
Yeah. And people seem to be into it. Dozens of companies are jumping at the chance to carve out a slice of this new, growing industry.
Who would have thought Americans would have been completely fine being seen on electric scooters? If you would have told me that 5 years ago, I would have called you a liar.
Yeah.
Yet here we are. Now at this point, being the next company to debut a scooter share program, it's not enough. The market is already too crowded. At this point, you just can't imitate, you gotta innovate. What's left though? We've already done bikes, we've done scooters. What else could there possibly be? Well, according to the hot new Swedish startup Kangaroo, the answer is Pogo sticks, which are basically just a pole with handlebars and footrests with a spring system at the bottom, allowing a person to hop short distances. They had a big revival in the 90s. Me and my friends used to have them and do stunts on them.
Yeah.
They're fun.
You can go pretty wild with it.
And it's a decent workout.
It is.
Not the best, but not the worst.
Good for the core.
Not terrible, but not good. They're pretty dangerous to use without at least some practice. So, the idea of putting hundreds of these things out on the street for people to rent out and use as a means of transportation that is much slower than a scooter, but much more likely to result in broken bones or death, it's odd. So,
but hey, maybe you like to live on the wild side.
Yeah, it's also annoying.
I'll be there in 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
I also might be dead in 20 minutes.
Or completely covered in sweat as I pogo through the streets on a hot summer day.
Yeah.
Stinky boys.
So what the hell's going on here? Are we being pranked? Maybe.
No.
At this point, any weird product or service that seems to show up out of nowhere immediately triggers suspicions that Nathan Fielder is involved in some way. But everyone involved in Nathan For You has for a while said that show is officially finished.
It's the perfect misdirect.
Yeah, that could be the biggest prank of all. There is still, however, the possibility that the Kangaroo Pogo Stick isn't quite as serious of a business venture as it would appear. CEO Adam Mickelson insists that it is, though, saying in an interview with The Next Web, quote, "It is a very real venture." They also updated their initial press release with an entire section right at the top, insisting that what they're doing is 100% real. Why do you keep asking? They are definitely, for realsies, bringing these bouncing death sticks to Stockholm and Malmo within the next month or so, followed by San Francisco later in the summer. Gonna go up those hills, no problem.
That's what's it's the weirdest place to start it. Like, at least Los Angeles
like Kansas City, somewhere that's flat.
Well, Los Angeles, for the most part, has a lot of flat parts to it. San Francisco is an odd choice, especially going uphill is one thing. That'd be a struggle. Going downhill on a pogo stick will literally kill people.
Are you bad enough
to go downhill on a pogo stick? And again, if you wear a helmet, the risk of actually dying, pretty low.
Yeah.
The way you would die would be hitting your head.
Yeah, no, you'd...
Yeah.
But,
nobody wears helmets on these electric scooters, so why are they going to put one on for this?
You fall off this thing, you land on your wrist, crack.
Now you're out of work, and then you're dead because of, how the medical system works.
Right, yeah. No safety net.
As many were quick to notice, though, with this company, Kangaroo's parent company is the Swedish marketing agency, The Odd Company, who has a bit of history when it comes to getting themselves in the news for their notably odd products and ideas. The Odd Company's previous work includes the penis poster, a custom wall poster of a penis scaled to the specific penis measurements of the buyer, which was meant to somehow be a solution to the dick pic epidemic. Okay. Then there was the grass slippers, literally just sandals with actual real grass in the soles to give you the feeling of being barefoot. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
One-time use probably, but...
I get a couple days out of it.
And then you just water it.
Yeah.
Leave it out in the sun for a while.
I gotta trim my shoes.
Yeah. That one was done in partnership with a sparkling beverage company. For a partnership with a clothing company owned by H&M, they created the Hug Trench, a trench coat with a little pocket in the back for people to put their hands in when they hug another person. It's cool. It's fine.
Are you tired of giving hugs and your hands are freezing cold when they're around the other person? Well, have we got a jacket for you?
And it's like that pillow where it's like the cuddle pillow where your arm doesn't die from your significant other laying on it.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a real problem.
Yeah. It's a specific problem, but it's a good solution.
Yeah.
Other work of theirs include the Pause Pod, literally just a tiny tent meant to allow for relaxation and meditation anywhere, and the Stash Shield, armor for your mustache.
So yeah, the Stash Shield was done in collaboration with the Movember Foundation, which focuses on men's health issues and annually encourages men to grow mustaches in the month of November to raise awareness or something. So it's understandable that it's a bit silly.
You gotta protect the womb broom.
Yeah. But what all those Odd Company products have in common is that they're weird, and thanks to that weirdness, they got featured in news stories and on talk shows, which is what marketing companies do. And in recent years, a lot of marketing companies have done what are essentially pointless campaigns as a way to advertise themselves. So this could just be a marketing company letting potential clients know that they know what they're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Every day's April Fool's Day for this company.
No, we know Pogo Sticks is a stupid fucking idea, but here we are marketing it pretty damn well, wouldn't you say?
That's like
and if we can market this,
we can
imagine what we could do with your product.
It's kind of like what ThinkGeek turned into towards before it was I think bought by Hot Topic and just like consumed. But yeah, they would put out fake products on April Fool's Day and then gauge the actual interest of the user and then actually make those products. So
yeah. And in doing those fake products on April Fool's Day, they'd always get put in the press, and it was free advertising.
Yeah. Now, yeah, it could be real, sort of. Kangaroo says that the Pogo Sticks are just stage one, and they plan to roll out more typical scooters later on. And like we said, at this point, any new scooter company entering the market, it's in for an uphill climb. But by making a name for themselves first as a crazy Pogo Stick company, Kangaroo is actually setting themselves up for much better name recognition if and when they decide to go the more traditional route.
It's like those, Uber was the first to market, Lyft showed up second, they're like,
we got mustaches.
Yeah, we're gonna put these ridiculous, giant pink mustaches in all your cars. And they're gonna be filthy within a few months, but in that time, we're gonna let people know we're here. We're Uber with pink mustaches.
The smart thing about this, though, too, is that I would imagine with renting the Kangaroos, you have to get the app, and you do it as a novelty. But then when they release the scooters, you already have it because that's the biggest pain.
Yeah.
When I was in DC, there's like 10 scooter companies, and I didn't have apps for any of them. And I was just like, well, if it's not Uber or Lyft, like I'll just wait and walk and find another one because I don't want to get a whole other thing, do all the credit card shit. So it's smart in that sense. Now, at this point, we don't know how serious any of this is, but regardless, this marketing company has already accomplished their primary directive, getting people talking about the thing that they're doing. And they got us. It's unique enough to be funny.
Well played, sirs.
Seeing people like down in San Francisco just pogoing through the pier area.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing left, the next company that really wants to make this kind of splash, is unicycles.
Jesus, that's even more dangerous than Pogo Sticks.
Yep.
Uber's coming out with
strong core for that one.
Uber's coming out with 2-seated electric bikes.
Yeah.
So that's another step because the biggest problem now is if you're two people, both have to have the app, there needs to be two things available. So that could be unique.
Yeah. It's all cool. It'd be even cooler if we had a robust, public transit system.
Yeah.
To just do what that's been doing for years.
But hey, they're trying to fix it.
They're taking care of that last mile.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. Moving on to more mainstream tech news, Apple had a big event on Monday, the annual Apple Worldwide Developers Conference, or WWDC, which is an event mainly aimed at giving third-party developers a little heads up on their upcoming hardware and software so they can hurry up and get developing. But it's also where Apple unveils a lot of new stuff. Usually it's just on the software side, but in addition to updates for macOS and iOS, Apple unveiled some of their most prohibitively expensive hardware ever in the form of a long-awaited new generation of Mac Pro computers and an equally absurd display to go along with those.
Including the mount. This was I've never seen sticker shock like this recently that I've experienced where I just went, are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? Anyways, the Mac Pro line of computers has always been Apple's over-the-top product line aimed primarily at professionals and businesses doing work in filmmaking, audio production, graphics, 3D modeling, and other creative tasks in need of tons of processing power and reliability. For people in our business, the Mac Pro used to be the gold standard for producing video content, but that was back when Apple's Final Cut Pro suite was quickly becoming the new industry standard for filmmaking software. And if you wanted to work in video, you pretty much learned how to do Final Cut and then utilized it and needed it to do your job. So you needed a Mac, and the best Mac around was the Mac Pro. It was never a computer that you purchased for casual use unless you were rich and needed it for reasons that you actually didn't need it for.
Yeah.
It was a business investment for people that were earning their money doing what the Mac Pro was built for.
Now, of course, what ended up happening is, for reasons we still don't fully understand, Apple intentionally pivoted away from their creative professional user base. Final Cut X left loyal Final Cut 7 users like us feeling betrayed and looking for alternatives, and Adobe Premiere seized that opportunity. They jumped right in. And you can run Premiere on PCs that are comparable to Mac Pros, but cost way less money, like literally half as much in some cases.
Yeah.
So yeah, doing video, graphics, or sound in Windows, also that used to be kind of buggy. Lately,
not so much.
Not so much. They've made their OS a lot more stable. Mac OS, that used to be a big selling point. You had to have it if you were running this shit or you're gonna have bugs all day. But Windows has done a lot to improve things on their end.
And Adobe did the smartest thing possible, because when I switched, they did the smartest move they ever made was making a keyboard shortcut available that was exactly Final Cut 7.
Yeah, it's smart, but it also, like, I
wish I had learned the Adobe.
Yeah, I have a few friends who actually learned it, and they're like, dude, you're missing out on so many features.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, well, I'm over 30. You know, like, your brain just stops learning at a certain point.
Yeah.
And I just can't do it.
Yeah. I can do everything I need to do with the shortcuts that I've been trained on.
Yeah, so what we're saying is that at this point, it's hard to see how anyone right now can justify staying in the Mac Pro ecosystem given how expensive it is.
Yeah.
At least as an individual.
Yes. Now, how expensive could this possibly be, you're asking? Well, oh boy, the starting price. The starting price of one of these new towers with no optional upgrades is $6,000.
Woo!
Now, what that gets you, it's not nothing. An 8-core, 16-thread, 3.5 gigahertz Intel Xeon W processor, 32 gigs of RAM, an AMD Radeon Pro 580X graphics card, solid-state memory, and a shitload of ports, and empty slots for expansion. It's hard to really know what the equivalent cost to build your own would be if you were doing that, but these processors and these things, they're not even out yet, so it's hard to say. And the thing is, if you're already willing to spend $6,000 on a new Mac Pro, you probably may as well splurge even further.
Yeah.
Why stop at the base model?
The base model is pretty much a shell for all the upgrades.
You'll want the one with the Corinthian leather. In all likelihood, that money isn't coming out of your pocket if you're purchasing this. It's coming out of the budget of the successful and profitable company that you work for, or you write it off on your taxes, I guess, if you're making enough. Because when you say writing off, it's not like you're getting free money. It's just...
No, you're just not paying taxes.
As much for it, yeah. Now, in terms of upgrades, the sky is really the limit with this. Apple hasn't revealed specifics, but people who have done the math have concluded that maxing out this computer will likely cost around $35,000. $35,000.
That's a pretty decent car right there.
If you're not like rendering 3D graphics for Toy Story 4, get off.
Yeah. So what does that $35K get you? Gets you 1.5 terabytes of RAM, 4 terabytes of solid-state storage, a 28-core Xeon processor, 2 Radeon Pro Vega 2 GPUs, and an Afterburner accelerator card solely dedicated to handling Apple's ProRes video codecs, which is basically a totally new thing. The Red Camera Company has a similar product for handling their file formats, but this is, I don't know. I still don't understand exactly what it does, but it regulates the processing between the CPU and the GPUs to, like, basically you can run 8K, you can run like 8 simultaneous streams of 8K ProRes footage without any rendering at all.
Again, not for your typical user.
Yeah, not for your typical user.
Yeah.
Like you would have this like running basically an entire broadcasting operation.
I will say, it will be hilarious when the first actual person who just wants to flex brings the $35,000 model into a Starbucks and sets it up on one of the tables.
Yeah, I'm sure one of these dumb rich YouTubers will be doing that.
We bought a new $35,000 Apple Mac computer and burned it.
Yeah, we threw it in a lake. Does it float?
Nope.
Did it float?
Turns out it doesn't.
Yeah, so plus that $35,000, that also includes the new Apple Pro Display XDR 32-inch 6K display, which will cost $6,000 if you include the stand.
I'm gonna buy the stand first and then save for the rest.
That's a $1,000 stand right there.
It is a $1,000 stand.
You don't need it though. You can wall mount it, I guess.
Just hanging on some string.
It's a beautiful stand.
I mean,
Look
you're gonna
at the
want.
stand.
Why would you?
Why stop? You've already spent so much money.
Yeah.
Get the stand. Come
Just
on.
get the stand.
Come on. Your kids are gonna love the stand. So this computer, it can power up to 6 of those displays simultaneously, by the way, which again, absolutely insane. It's either a dumb flex or you're like running an entire multi-million-dollar business off of this fucking computer.
Yeah.
This is a computer that costs more than a car, which is absurd, but that computer is not for you or I. It's not going to be sitting in anyone's home office. It's exclusively for big companies with lots of money who already have a large Apple ecosystem in place and need very powerful computers that don't require hardcore IT maintenance and can be upgraded for an entire decade before needing to be replaced.
Yeah. That was my kind of like take on it is you can have like, it loosens up the fact that you need a bunch of on-staff IT people, and it's if something happens to the computer, an Apple specialist, especially if they're spending this much money.
Yeah, they didn't say so, but I've got to believe that this puts you on a special tier of tech support where they're like, we got a whale calling in.
Not really bringing it down to the Apple store and waiting in line in Glendale,
No.
so.
And yeah, that's like the companies are going to be buying this like in bulk.
Yeah.
They're going to have special deals with Apple.
Yeah. That's why they fired all those creative people in the entertainment industry to make room for the computers going to buy, for the leftovers.
Computers will do a man's job. It's like, this is basically like, a lot of people like Ford Motor Company, great cars. Ford has the Ford GT that costs like $500,000.
Yeah.
Like,
Only
they're not marketing that to your average F-150 driver.
No,
it's a fucking race car.
It's just for Captain Sparkles. He's the only one that's allowed to own one. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, forgot that he did that.
He owns one. Seeing this kind of machine debuted on stage alongside a bunch of consumer-facing software updates, it's a bit odd, and it gives the impression that this is something for your Apple fanboy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I mean, you like Apple, but how much
Got
do you
the
really
watch, got the iPhone, got the iPad.
earpods.
I'm gonna need about $6,000 from the bank if I want to complete my collection.
No, Apple has their own credit card and financing, baby.
They do, and it's actually quite good. The last time I bought a computer from them, about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I financed mine.
I was quite poor at the time. Could not afford the like $2,000.
They did not rake me over the coals, which I enjoyed.
It was a pretty fair thing. It was just like, make your payments within this like 2-year time period. You won't lose a cent.
Yes.
It was quite nice.
Yeah, in reality, the numbers that they're going to ship of especially the higher tiered ones, it's going to be tiny compared to what people are typically buying, and Apple knows that. They're still banking on the parents who buy their kids $3,000 laptops to check their emails on in college.
Yeah.
That's where the bread and butter is. And they're also not targeting gamers. Maybe this runs Crysis, I don't know. Have they upgraded it for Mac OS? Not sure. I'm sure it'll run Fortnite just fine.
Oh yeah. They have it for Mac.
And as soon as this comes out, someone's immediately just going to install Windows on it and see how well it actually runs games, and that'll be interesting to see. But for the real epic PC gamers watching us right now who don't feel properly represented and are just screaming,
get a real gamer in there.
Exactly. The people over on PC Builder, Build a PC subreddit.
These two casuals are out here talking about computers.
Yeah. The past, 3 computers we've owned and worked on were all custom PCs and not Macs. The last Mac I worked on was given to me by Machinima years and years ago. So we're on board, we get it, but don't listen to us. Listen to someone who knows what they're talking about.
A real gamer.
Even if you can't understand them fully. Here's Shibby's take on the $6,000 Mac Pro.
Apple, you're expecting me to buy a $6,000 minimum spec cheese grater with 256 gigabytes of storage and a basic ass graphics card? Are you kidding me? No. PC Master Race, Windows, Bill Gates up in here, Microsoft up. Yes, PC part picker. Get this bullshit out of here. $1,000 for a stand? Ha!
Well, I only understood like 1 or 2 words of that, but it sounds like he doesn't like it.
Safe to say.
Well, anyway, thank you, Shibby. And speaking of gaming, Apple actually is kind of embracing it, but in their own little way. At their last big event, few months back, they revealed Apple Arcade, which will be a new subscription gaming service that works across Apple's entire product line and will feature casual, indie-style games without loot boxes or microtransactions. And this week, they revealed that if you're running Apple Arcade on an Apple TV, you'll be able to just use a PS4 or Xbox One controller, which is nice.
Yeah.
Way smarter than them trying to engineer their own fucking controller that's only for this.
And probably ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For iOS, the next version it'll feature the usual marginal upgrades to speed and efficiency, along with a dark mode, which should be the standard going forward, thank you. A swipe keyboard, the option to send all unknown calls straight to voicemail.
That's great.
And a pretty great new sign in with Apple feature that lets you create accounts for apps without using your actual email address. Instead, it creates a random burner email that you can use in the background and disable whenever you want.
Yeah.
Which is a big problem that hopefully.
Well, it's like you were saying, like signing up for all those bike services in DC. With this, you'd be able to just you download the app, you just click sign in with Apple. It handles creating an email, creating a password, all of that in the background, and just stores it away from you, and then
that's great because email spam.
You're not on anyone's list anymore.
It's even today. I was just like, I can't even when I look at my email, I'm just like, it gives me an anxiety attack. Where's the important stuff?
I did a pretty good job a few months back of just going through
unsubscribing
and
shit.
Like Gmail has a pretty decent built-in unsub feature, and I did it for just thousands of subscriptions, and now my email. Now it got to a point where I'm like, wow, not a lot of people actually email me because I don't work for a company anymore. I get 2 real emails a day.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Yeah. Anyways, they announced that the iPad is finally getting its own dedicated operating system called iPad OS, which is great news for people looking to use their iPad as more of a laptop. And for Mac OS, the next California landmark to lend its name is Catalina. And that's the place where, if you live there, you can afford one of the Mac Pros conveniently.
Yeah, well, you're not spending money on cars because cars are illegal there. So
you're pogoing everywhere. It allows for users to plug in an iPad to use as a secondary touch display. That's cool.
Yeah.
But that effectively kills the various apps that already did this.
This is Apple's. They've been doing this for years, going back into the 90s, where they're very conservative and slow about updates. They let these third-party companies come up with solutions, and then they're like, yes, hey, everybody, look at my new feature.
Yeah.
And then those people are fucked.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what
Always
Google
happens.
does, where they just develop a plethora of shit apps and then delete them all
And they
afterwards.
just throw it in the trash.
Also, why don't you take this one, Elliot? It's a great news.
As has been rumored for a bit now, iTunes is fucking dead.
Yes.
May it rot in hell. In its place, Apple has 3 new dedicated apps, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and Apple TV.
Smart.
And that's great. iTunes...
It was a bloated piece of shit for years.
When it came out in 2002 or whatever, it was, pretty state of the art. And then it just gradually, it turned into this bloated fucking mess that for some reason needed to update every 4 days with a terms of service that was 1,000 pages long.
Yeah.
And it would just devour RAM. It was just trying to be everything at once, and the UI just became uglier and uglier.
And they
added
haven't
more features.
They haven't even really changed the UI since the early 2010s.
Yeah.
It just looks so dated now and
it's
still
a mess.
runs bad.
But yeah, so now they've broken up big iTunes.
I'm excited to see what Apple Music looked like the UI on a PC would look like.
Yeah.
So,
but speaking of Apple TV, they also debuted a trailer for one of their upcoming original series, For All Mankind, and it looks great. Did you watch this trailer?
No, what's it about?
It's basically an alternative history series where the Soviets make it to the moon before the U.S., so the space race does not end there, and it triggers this kind of rapid development of tech, and I don't know where it leads, but it's just this whole other path where the 2 countries are fighting over space for decades to come.
That sounds great. Does the production quality look great?
Yeah, it looks like an HBO or Amazon series.
Yeah. Did Tim Apple get his dance party and huggings?
It's not in the trailer. Okay. We'll see.
Yeah. Why can't we all just be friends on the moon?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Anyways, it's time for a word from this week's sponsors, starting with ExpressVPN, which I have been using a lot.
I spent some time in another country recently.
Yeah. We can't say that what we've been doing with the VPN, but there's uses for it.
I found a lot of really good uses for ExpressVPN while I was gone.
But here's what they say. You might be one of those people that thinks cybercrime is something that happens to other people. You're probably not, though, because you watch this show and you know better. You also know that every time you connect to a public Wi-Fi network, you're exposing your data to hackers and crooks. Well, don't be a victim. Take action and get ExpressVPN.
ExpressVPN secures and anonymizes your internet browsing by encrypting your data and hiding your public IP address. ExpressVPN has easy-to-use apps that run seamlessly in the background of your computer, phone, and tablet. Turning on ExpressVPN protection only takes one click, and then you're safely using public Wi-Fi without being snooped on or having your personal data stolen, all for less than $7 a month.
ExpressVPN is rated the #1 VPN service by TechRadar, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So protect your online activity today. Find out how you can get 3 months for free, which is a great deal, and you should definitely try it out because we're both enjoying the service. It's expressvpn.com/newsday. Expressvpn.com/newsday, and you'll get 3 months free if you get a 1-year package. Go to expressvpn.com/newsday to learn more. And yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying my test run of this service.
Yeah, just change that little flag icon. See what websites become available to you.
Or don't. Use it as it's. Listen, we can't tell you what to do.
Have fun with it. Yeah. Also, this episode is sponsored by Kaptara. We've all read some surprising online reviews, right? Whether you're trying to get a sweet deal on something you've been saving for or trying to find the best happy hour in town, it's generally a good idea to read the reviews first. So why should finding the right software for your business be any different?
It shouldn't.
Read thousands of real software reviews and find the right software for your business at Kaptara.com/newsday.
Kaptara is the leading free online resource to help you find the best software solutions for your business. With over 850,000 reviews of products from real software users, discover everything you need to make an informed decision. Search more than 700 specific categories of software, everything from project management to email marketing to yoga studio management software. No matter what kind of software your business needs, Kaptara is going to make it easy to discover the right solution fast.
Join the millions of people who use Kaptara each month to find the right tools for their business. Visit Kaptara.com/newsday for free today to find the tools to make an informed software decision for your business. That's Kaptera, Kaptara.com/newsday. Kaptara, software selection simplified.
Thank you to our sponsors. Check them out if you're interested. And, well, let's just get back into the tech news, and we'll switch gears from Apple to Google. It's mostly all bad news. So let's start with the good news first. The Play Store now requires games featuring loot boxes to clearly disclose the odds of getting particular items before any money is exchanged. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Though they're basically just getting ahead of what the law is probably going to require soon.
Yeah,
so.
It seems to be heading that way, which is good.
Anyways, bad news here. Pretty much all of Google's cloud services were down for several hours on Sunday, meaning the whole G Suite, along with YouTube, Nest, and lots of features in third-party apps like Snapchat and Discord, they weren't working for a lot of people. And are we going to get some money for all the ad dollars we lost out on during this outage on the videos?
Doubt it.
You're probably right.
Not win-woe me.
You're 100% right. Anyways, the next day, Google Fi, their Telecom, that was messed up for several hours with users unable to make phone calls, which is real bad.
Yeah, it's actually a violation of like FCC rules. They might get fined for that. Because if you can't call 911, like it's a pretty big problem.
That's the thing. Unless you're a telemarketer or a robocaller, if you're making a phone call, it's for an important purpose these days.
Yeah. It's I don't use it much, but when I need to make a call, I need it to be there.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the same day as that Google Fi outage, the New York Times published a piece in which they actually took a look at how YouTube had been dealing with that whole soft-core child pornography thing from a few months back, and they discovered that it's still quite easy to go down a video recommendation rabbit hole in just a few clicks and end up having all of your recommendations be videos of young children. Ugh. So YouTube had, of course, made plenty of changes back when this first broke a few months ago, but it's looking more and more like the problem isn't so easy to fix. It's also part of a larger issue that people have started noticing where their recommendation algorithm, no matter what you're looking at, takes you further and further into extreme versions of that.
Yeah.
So it's like even like completely like apolitical stuff. Like if you're looking at videos of like, if you're looking at like bicycle reviews, like eventually it'll take you to like extreme like motocross stunts.
Yeah.
And that's like the most tame version of it. It's like you start looking at...
You look at knitting, and then next thing you know, you're knitting a Ku Klux Klan hat.
I mean, probably. But it's like, yeah.
How did I get here? I've been radicalized.
Political stuff, like I think, like the gap between like watching a Fox News video and watching something that's kind of just straight up like
Full-on propaganda?
full on like fascism
Yeah.
shit, it's like 3 or 4 clicks. It's and that's just part of their algorithm. It's not even really their fault. It's kind of human nature's fault.
Yeah, no, you want it like...
They're taking something that's already present in human nature and just like maximizing on it, but it's maybe not the best thing to build an algorithm on.
It's definitely an ongoing project, that algorithm.
We're working on it. We need to make an AI to fix our AI.
Yeah, that's the
the
thing.
solution.
Anyways, lastly, in bad Google news, they banned weed apps from the Play Store.
Boo!
Including weed delivery apps in places where buying and using marijuana recreationally is totally legal. So what the hell, Google? I mean, we kind of get it. The Play Store, it's all ages, so anything on there can be viewed or downloaded by kids. And there's no mechanism for enabling or disabling apps based on what state a person is in. But that would be a solution. That would be a good solution.
Yeah, it might be.
So whatever. It also sounds like existing weed delivery apps can comply with the new policy by simply moving the transaction part off the app and into a browser. It's also fine. It's still frustrating, though, that this is even an issue. I mean, the one workaround would be hosting APKs on their websites.
Yeah. I mean, most...
But then all it takes is one of those websites getting hacked and then having
all the
bunk
weed-
APK on there that you download and ruins your phone and your life.
I've only done it through like the web, but the ones I've used, they don't do any of the transaction on the site either. It's like you pay when the person shows up and verifies. Cause they need to like verify your ID and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know how much of a problem this is, but it's just dumb. Like it should be legal everywhere. We shouldn't even be talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that Google, a company, would have the knowledge of where the purchase is taking place and how old the user is and all of that information. But
you would think.
Maybe that's an antitrust thing that I'm accidentally wishing for. Oh,
Could
so
be.
now you want us to give away all of our information? No.
Anyways, moving on now to Uber news. They're pretty notorious for punishing drivers whose ratings fall even slightly lower than perfect. But it sounds like they're now applying that same policy to riders. Riders have always had your own hidden rating system. There's a way to see it, but it's complicated. With drivers rating their passengers after each ride, just like you rate your drivers. But until now, it's mainly functioned as a way for drivers to decide whether they want to accept the next fare. Eventually, even the lower-rated riders, they get to the top of the queue, and they'll get picked up by the sad, unlucky bastard who gets stuck with them, though they do have to wait a lot longer.
That's probably why I'm messed up.
Yeah, you're a bad passenger. Starting now, though, if a rider's score drops far enough below the local average, that rider gets banned from Uber, which is good. I mean, assuming the rider's getting low ratings for being a terrible person and not for, like, I don't know, their race or, like, a disability. But you would think, like, that would average out. Like, there's probably a couple racists driving for Uber, but I don't know if they would be statistically, like, that important in the average, but
It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
I mean, at the very least, it'll encourage people to maybe be on better behavior, because there's some real. I always go out of my way. I'm
very nice.
I don't want to bother this person. I don't want them bothering me. Like, let's just keep things.
I've definitely
quiet
been
and nice.
in cars where, like, you know, even if I'm drunk, I'm just quiet in the Uber. I don't want to talk or do anything. But like, I've had definitely friends who are like, all right, give me the aux cable, and like,
or like
your rating's gonna go real far down.
Pull over, we're going through the Taco Bell drive-thru, and then you like eat in their fucking car. Like, they're gonna rate you low for that.
You're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get banned.
Be on your best behavior.
Anyways, to wrap things up, the Chinese companies Oppo and Xiaomi, they both recently showed off some upcoming tech where the selfie camera is able to sit underneath the display's pixels and work just fine when needed by turning off those pixels when the camera's in use. It's pretty damn futuristic and likely means that notches and nubs are not long for this world, and they'll be gone soon, which is good.
Not gonna miss them.
Yeah, bye-bye notches. Even though I don't notice it on the Google phone, but it's, you know, it's whatever. The mock-ups for the new Pixel look kind of cool, but I have no reason to upgrade again. The phone works fine for years.
I just got a Pixel 3 like a month ago, and the only reason I got it was because it was like half off for some special deal.
Yeah.
I would have kept my Pixel 1 forever.
Anyways, that's it for this week's tech news. If you're a YouTube member or a Patreon supporter at the $5 tier or higher, we put up yet another new exclusive podcast for you guys that you can find either by going to the Patreon or going to the community tab here on YouTube. If you want to sign up for that, go over to Patreon, join the $5. It's better than being a YouTube member for us getting a better portion of it. But
currently, Patreon's got a slightly better cut.
Yes.
If you're concerned about that.
So go toss $5 over there. We'll keep cranking out some exclusive content for the patrons. And if you want to watch some stuff over here with actual video, and you want to make up for Sunday's outage, please watch the 2 most recent episodes that I'm sure got affected by that.
Yeah.
Specifically Weekly Weird News.
Watch them twice.
Yeah, which sucks because it got posted like the day before the outage, so that sucks. It sucks. Go watch Weekly Weird News, especially if you didn't get to see it on Sunday. Support the sponsors if you are interested in those products, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.